had no desire.
If you open that quickly, I'll give you what's on top.
I like that. Thank you. Makes me feel happy.
Now you have to put it back on there, Jen.
All right, I can do that because I do my hand exercises. Good morning. Good morning. What's that? I didn't do my hair this morning, so I put my hat on. Yeah, because I was supposed to get a haircut. So, yeah, well, so my dear wife, every time she goes on these like school junkets, she goes to baseball games and she brings, yeah. That's the one that got hit by the. That's the buoy that got hit by the. Purchase a pump and motor. Okay, all right. Sure. Are you saying we're not getting out of here? You're supposed to be the one that champions 2 1-hour meetings.
You guys can turn on your microphones. I'll call this meeting to order. This is Alpine Town Council meeting on March 3rd at 7 o'clock p.m. First order of business is the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, roll call, Madam Clerk.
Good evening. Jeremy Larson.
Here.
Andrea Burchard.
Here.
Mayor Green.
Here.
Amy Weirda.
Here.
And Shay Scafidi.
Here.
Mayor Green, you have a quorum of the council with all members present.
All right, thank you. Did everyone have a chance to look at the agenda?
Yes.
Do we have a motion to adopt the agenda?
Make a motion to adopt the agenda?
Second.
We have a motion, it's been seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor of adopting the agenda, say aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? Hearing none. Consent agenda. Do we have a motion?
Motion to adopt consent agenda?
Second.
We have a motion, it's been seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor of adopting the consent agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. We'll go right into reports. I don't have much to report other than we have some people from Star Valley Health here. Thank you so much for coming. We'll give a little bit more background on how we've come to our the recommendation that our little group has arrived at, but this has been a long process. We've been working on this for like 6 months and a lot of hard work. Everyone that's been, all the municipalities have been coming. So you guys will have more information on that. And then see, I think that's all I have for tonight. Just looking forward to that discussion. So next, planning and zoning submitted in writing. No one from planning and zoning was here to make a report, I guess. Clerk treasurer, Dan, he doesn't want to. He didn't raise his hand. Clerk treasurer report.
Good evening. So the last couple weeks, we've been extremely busy. There's a lot of activity in the office about subdivisions, PUD requests, and annexation requests as well. So the staff has been working very hard on trying to just figure out what the status of those are. We have done the RFPs and interviewed all of the candidates for the Safe Streets for All grant, which is on the agenda this evening. It was a very positive experience for those on the committee. I've been working on writing a very specific job descriptions for the town administrator role that you are doing the second reading to update the charter for, and then the budget is now going to be my focus moving forward.
Yep, we had our first kind of budget work session.
About operating.
Yeah, operating budget. So the next one is March 17th. It'll probably be the same time at 6 o'clock, but keep an eye out for the schedule when that comes up.
Yeah.
But Monica's in budget mode now, so we've got to support her in that role for sure. Next is Public Works. Craig, do you want to give us an update on Alpine Meadows?
Good evening. So the Alpine Meadows sewer infrastructure camera was completed. Out of that, we found 5 laterals that had separation. Only one of those was an occupied dwelling, so we immediately fixed that the next day. There's also 14 offset joints, and those aren't an emergency by any imagination. So the next council meeting, staff is going to have a staff report recommendation presented to you guys on the next steps that we should do. Yep.
And everyone over there was notified?
Yep, we sent out letters to each property owner. Yep, and let them know the status of their lateral.
And then the ones that had an issue, we sent them a separate letter that described what the situation was, and
Yep.
And we'll look forward to getting your staff report on that, but really figuring out how to fix the problem, is an immediate fix or is it down the road? Those are questions that need to be answered.
Correct.
Right.
Yep.
So we have to
Go ahead.
tear up the roads?
Yes. Yep.
Let's clarify. So on
I
the
mean,
5,
just the main, or where the main and lateral meet?
Yeah, yes, for the 4 separations, yes, those are directly underneath the asphalt. So that will have to be repaired.
Okay.
Yep.
Yep, and I think that this is what they're going to help determine. Maybe it comes from Jorgensen as well, but what's the timing that makes sense to do all that work?
Yeah,
when they arise, when someone connects, do we do it at that point, or do we do it all at the same time? So that's going to cost quite a bit of money, but
right.
And seeing as though it's budget season right now, we're very aware of all the capital projects that are on the list.
Yep.
So, any other questions for Craig?
I got a quick question. So on the 14 that are, where you have the main and the lateral, where they are connected.
Correct.
But they are shifted in one direction.
So they're not shifted right at the main.
Oh,
They're about 9 feet from the main,
okay.
and I don't know why.
So at a different joint is where, so does that suggest that it was installed incorrectly, or is that maybe even from settling?
It could be settling. I can't speculate. I don't know.
It's
We just
really
don't
tough
know.
to
Okay.
speculate.
Yep. There is a water main that runs parallel to the sewer main, and so the ones that are offset, we're speculating, that they needed to change the angle to get underneath the water main, and that's why that happened. That's the speculation that I've got. But
We
it
probably wouldn't have ever been designed like that, but it ended up being installed like that.
Correct. Yep. Other than that,
Joys of owning infrastructure that we didn't get to inspect or put in ourselves.
yep. And then we're going to finish the AMI project. We've got about 20 meters left to install. So we're going to start that scheduling. And hopefully by the 1st of April, that is all but done except for maybe 1 or 2 meters. That's basically our goal for this month. And then the level 3 water master plan, mega well tie-in. Hopefully that's on your desk before the 1st of April for signature, as well as the 2 Homeland Security grants. So then we can start
Yeah.
moving on those. Yep.
Awesome.
Any other questions?
Thanks, Craig.
Yep, thank you.
Actually, Craig,
before you leave.
one thing that we were discussing earlier, that I know everybody who drives Grays River Road is wondering, and that would be the brand-new potholes that seem to be in between. Do you guys have just thoughts there?
Yeah, so we did get some pothole patch today. I also talked to the mayor and I got a quote. I will have it for sure Monday morning to repave up to Terrace. I'm gonna do a quote to repave it from where you turn off right there, Ace, to Terrace. That seems like the worst
Yeah,
part. And
Between
then,
Terrace and Sunset are the.
yep, and then a full quote to do the whole thing. So,
We
yes,
may also have them just do like a major patch
Yep.
repair in that area.
we will do that as well.
Let's get all the information before we decide if we're just gonna use that, whatever you call it, the short-term patch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we will.
Yeah.
Yep, yep, it's falling apart. Something needs to be
Oh,
done.
yeah.
Yep,
They're growing them quickly there on Grays River Road.
they are for sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep,
Thanks, Craig.
anything else? Thank you, guys.
Thanks. Code enforcement officer was submitted in writing, and also Alpine Education Foundation report was submitted in writing. So we will move right into our work session discussion items, and the first one is, we have Star Valley Health here to kind of walk us through the process that we went through and our recommendation from the committee. So if you don't mind turning on the microphone there.
Just press the button there, Dan.
There you go. Thank you. And tell us your name and who you represent.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor Green, members of the council. Dan Ordina, the CEO at Star Valley Health. It's a pleasure to be with you, and thank you for your offering some time to talk about this important topic. A little history, I think, might help provide some context to where we currently, the current state. Back in the hospital has been a hospital district. I don't know for how long. I think back in the 1970s. Yep. And so we've been providing all sorts of different healthcare services, essential services to the valley since that time. It got involved. Star Valley Health got involved with EMS back in 2008. The county and the town of Afton came to the administration of Star Valley Health at that time and said, we can't afford to continue with helping to pay for EMS services. And so a deal was brokered with the administration at that time where some new ambulances would be purchased and Star Valley Health would take over the Afton station. At that time, there was a Thane station and also an Alpine station. That continued until my arrival in 2021. At that time, there had been a significant degradation in response times in the valley. And there was grave concern about burnout, about the ability to continue to provide EMS services in the valley. In fact, the Afton station was responding to all sorts of calls from Thane and Alpine. Not that people weren't trying their best. It was just the volunteer model had really eroded to the point where people were having to just get off work, try to respond to a call, and by that time, It was a little too late. And so myself and our board, we decided to intervene. And we offered to Alpine and Thane to consolidate and work out a deal where we would invest in EMS in the valley. And over the last four years, we have significantly done that, to the point where the average response time in the valley is about 16 minutes from the time of the call to the time of being on scene. And it's not just that response time, but there are paramedics and EMTs at every single station. And so the quality of the call is significant, where they can triage, they can deal with airways, they can deal with very significant high acuity type issues. I think the response that we get from the community is that they're very appreciative of us intervening and being able to provide this service. Well, this agreement that we entered in with the town of Alpine, the town of Thane, it's expiring come November of 2026, this year. And at the expiration of those agreements, we don't have a solution. Some people would say, well, why can't the hospital continue to pay for this? And the fact is that we are subsidizing EMS services, just direct expenses compared to what we collect in revenue, of around $1.5 million. Now, it's probably higher than that when you consider any unallocated costs like accounting or billing services or HR services. But that kind of gives you an idea of what the hospital is subsidizing to maintain those services in those three areas of the town of Alpine, the town of Thane, and the town of Alpine, or town of Afton. And so, trying to be proactive, we commenced a working group of elected officials and administrators from those representatives of those towns, as well as the county, Star Valley Health, and other elected officials. And we just completed our fourth meeting. And this, I believe, started back in September, somewhere around there, of 2025. There's been lots of very good discussion of questions back and forth about where is the clear pathway of sustainability. And that really is the objective of this working group, is how do you make EMS sustainable? One of the important things to recognize is that EMS is not deemed an essential service in the state of Wyoming. The only two services that are deemed essential are police and fire. And once you deem them essential services, then it's up to the towns and counties to figure out how to pay for that. And that's what's been going on with police and fire. So this is a statewide issue of EMS, and that's why you hear about it so much in the newspapers and conversations about how towns are struggling with EMS. We feel like EMS is a very essential component to a stable and workable healthcare delivery system. They're the first on site. They can help triage. They can help communicate to other providers within the emergency room about what to do with a particular patient. And with us now having 2 emergency rooms in the valley, one being right here in the town of Alpine, down in Afton, it's so vitally important that we continue to figure out what to do with EMS. So the county doesn't have funds. The towns don't have funds. And if a hospital doesn't intervene, the EMS is really struggling in other parts of the state. There still is the volunteer model that's out there, but we believe that is completely unsustainable in light of what really is necessary for us to have a dependable EMS, because of lessons learned from the past. And so we have, as a group, looked at all different options on the table. We've considered a sales tax. We've considered grants. We've considered the Rural Health Transformation Funds. And all of those options have significant flaws in them. And the one statutory option that is available to communities is a EMS special district. And we feel that we want to put this in the voters' hands as to what type of EMS they want now and in the future. And so we have approached the county. The county commissioner has been involved in the process. The county has heard our arguments, and they have agreed to provide for public opinion starting March 17th for 60 days. And they can unilaterally create an EMS district. That does not mean that they will fund it. The funding comes from a vote from the community. And so the process is that you have a public opinion or an open period for public opinion. A board is created for this EMS district. That EMS district then decides how many mill levies are necessary for the sustainability of the EMS district, and then it has to go to a vote. The EMS district you can vote for up to 4 mill levies, and once that's whatever number of mill levies are voted for, that remains in perpetuity until the county commissioners dissolve the EMS district. And so we are here to explain that history, the objectives of the working group, the agreed upon pathway forward for sustainability, and to also ask that the town of Alpine provide its support, and to provide a resolution that, hey, we recognize there's not a lot of good options out there. What we want to make sure of is that there is a distinction between a conversation about EMS and how somebody feels about property taxes. We recognize that people are all along a spectrum of property taxes. There are some that will say no property taxes whatsoever for anything. And there are those that say, just go ahead and tax the heck out of me. And then everything in between. The real question, that question of property taxes, I think has to be left to each individual voter about how they feel about the use of their property tax dollars. But that's not until November. The appropriate question right now, at this point in time, is how do we feel about an EMS district moving forward? So I want to just separate those two issues. We're not trying to tackle how the public feels about property taxes and how their tax dollars should be utilized. What we're trying to say to the community is this is a very viable option, and we're going through the process to create that EMS district, which would then provide the voters the opportunity to fund it. And that's why we're here tonight. So I'll just pause there and answer any questions that you may have.
One thing that I would point out, Dan, and we've talked about this quite a bit, is that this EMS special district will be run completely separate from the hospital.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yep.
So this will be a board of, they're not elected, but they're appointed by your recommendation, or the committee's recommendation was each of the 4 municipalities and then one from the county is appointed to this board. And then I've made it clear that my feeling is this needs to be run like a business.
Mm-hmm.
We know how much we're bringing in. We know how much service we get and the billing rate that gets recovered and all those things, but it will be run like a business. And also, this EMS district is going to be able to choose their provider. Now, of course, Star Valley Health is the logical choice
Yeah.
now. But I think it's a good distinction so everyone knows that this board can select a different provider if and when that time ever comes up.
Yeah.
And so you're motivated to do a good job, and the board's motivated to provide service, EMS service, to the community.
Absolutely. We recognize this is probably something that we should have talked about and looked at 5 years ago. It just really didn't come to the top. We felt like the first thing we needed to do was get people to work together in the valley, and we've accomplished that. And there has been tremendous millions of dollars in investment in training, in staffing, in equipment, in supplies, and we feel very good with where EMS is right now. To the point that the mayor made is all we care about is sustainability of EMS. We're not in the EMS business as a hospital. That's not what the hospital district tax dollars are utilized for. Hospital tax district dollars are used to sustain essential services like emergency services, medical, surgical. We utilize it for OB. That's another big area that is becoming a huge issue in the state of Wyoming, is hospitals are dropping OB because there's no reimbursement or subsidy from Medicare or CMS to provide for those OB services. And we have a very robust OB program. So we have other service lines that we need to continue to subsidize outside of EMS. We just took on EMS as another thing that the valley needed. But we do have to, from a long-term planning standpoint, look at how are we really going to just continue to pay for all of this. And that is why we are looking at separating out EMS from the hospital, having it, the separate governance, separate contracts, and allowing the community to decide what EMS looks like in the future.
So I'll open it up to any questions for Dan. Go ahead. I'll start with Shay first, and then we'll come down this way.
Yeah, I think it's a difficult discussion to not combine the two, and I'll probably drive these guys crazy because I'm always fiscally super hyper focused. And so when I hear 4 mill levies, I just think, I'm trying to translate it into dollar amounts. And I know, obviously, I'm always sad that our state legislators didn't deal with it post-COVID because we all felt the feeling of it. One of the things I really have tried to dig into is, and this isn't for your plate, but we have cemetery districts. And so I feel like some of that I would like to get to the commissioners, where I feel like that should be parlayed perhaps into a church dynamic, and that mill levy could be part of the EMS. I'd much rather, no offense to anyone, but care, and I know I'm getting a little off topic, but I would really like, I want to reach out to the commissioners and be like, why are we not putting our dollars, I mean to say it, towards the living? I would rather that mill levy push that direction than put an extra burden on the people.
The one thing I'll just clarify real
yeah.
quick is that, so that decision's not with the commissioners.
I know, it
Right.
has to go to a vote again.
Or I think it's with the state legislature, but we could,
Yeah, I know.
we
And
could dig into that more too.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, I've been around 23 years in Alpine, used to fundraise for the volunteer EMS, the fire, all of it, plan those. I remember it differently that the hospital, and Jeremy would probably help me better, of remembering how EMS translated back from volunteer to being a function of the hospital.
That was a long process.
I remember.
Yeah.
It was years. So I think I want to kind of digest being good stewards of tax money. And that's kind of where I'll probably deep dive into this. And I think I'd ask Mike for the budget and just to start looking at that from that point of view. And I think the other dynamic that we do face in Alpine that you're not going to see in Thane or Afton, a lot of people will go to Jackson. And so I just want to make sure, depending on how the vote goes, is obviously the patient decides where they go.
Yeah, Star Valley Health, any healthcare provider,
Okay.
always allows for patient choice. Okay, now certainly in certain circumstances where they're not conscious, they need immediate medical help. There's even a line of demarcation up the canyon that says, do you go here or do you go there? And we let the medical professionals decide that. So there's never ever been an issue with patient choice, whether it's surgery, whether it's EMS, whether it's anything else. We have to allow for that. Now, with you being the fiscal hawk that you are, and thank you for having that talent. The mayor, he requested that we put together a pro forma budget of what the new entity would look like from a revenue and expense standpoint, so that a new board that would be responsible fiscally for those tax dollars, what they would be looking at as a new board of this district. And so the transparency's there. I think obviously as the leader of Star Valley Health, I don't want to see a degradation of EMS. We have put a lot into this, and we like where it is, and so we want to support a transition that is going to be the best possible. But we also know how much we're losing financially on trying to support EMS as is.
It's weird.
Yeah, so first of all, I had no idea that EMS is not considered essential. That's
Isn't it crazy?
Okay. Well, and I think you mentioned it in your opening history, but I missed it. For years, EMS was administered by our fire department here in town.
Not necessarily. They were
Or-
two separate entities, and the fire district could not be funded from like raising money for a food or like a chicken fry or whatever. So all that money went to EMS
Okay.
and the EMS
Okay.
auxiliary. But it was
Okay.
kind of like the fire department was supporting
Was
that.
supported.
Yeah,
Okay.
certainly, without question, the Alpine Fire District has, during the volunteer days, space was provided,
Yeah.
for the ambulance. So there was a lot of how can we help, right? And we still have that same sentiment, from Mike but there is a distinct separation.
Okay, so there isn't a way, because police and fire are deemed essential, there isn't a way to sort of merge EMS into one of those entities?
No, there isn't.
Okay,
Yeah.
Is that all you had?
yeah.
Okay,
Digest
that's
that.
a digest that. Did you have any questions for Dan?
Not really. My husband is a member of Star Valley Search and Rescue, and I'm very hyper aware of how hard it is to get to volunteers for any of those: fire, search and rescue, EMS. So I don't think we can go back to that model. It just won't work. And I have a pager in my house, and I listen to all the calls day and night, and there are a lot. So we really appreciate what you guys are doing to keep that going for now and looking at different perspectives on how to make it work in the future.
Thank you very much, and we appreciate everything that Search and Rescue does. In fact, we've made several donations to Search and Rescue recently so that they can do the wonderful job that they do.
Yeah, and they always appreciate it when they can get an EMT to come along with them. It makes puts their minds at rest a little bit.
Yeah, totally.
Mr. Larson?
Thank you, Dan. Not so much a question, I guess, just more for those here and at home. As involved with Alpine Fire and EMS from 2010 to 2017, 3-4 of those years I ran Alpine EMS. I know firsthand the difficulty, the challenge, the heartbreak of trying to get a volunteer organization continually going and sustainable for a organization that provides life-saving care to our community. The stress is unbelievable. So, and at that time, I worked with Senator Dockstetter. I worked with the other, so at that time it was Alpine, Thane, and Afton. I worked with the other three EMS services to try and do just this, try and actually change, get the legislature to enact law that we could create a EMS district. For those who don't know, Idaho, they're able to run because they have EMS districts, and it's funded through that.
When Idaho has deemed, last year they deemed
Deemed it essential services.
an essential service.
Right. So if you have questions, I'm definitely happy to give you the down and dirty why volunteerism is just falling off the board, why if you want EMS service in this valley, it's going to cost us all. There's no way around it. Like I say, I was beating my head against this wall for years prior to this. So I think it's a good thing. I'm excited for it. For those who don't, it really comes down to if you want the service, you have to pay for the service. That's just it. There's no way around that. I guess my question would be, we have the option of up to 4 mill levies. Have you broken down what it costs for our current 24/7 ALS coverage? When
you say the current cost of ALS service?
So right now with the current program that you have going on, that 24/7 ALS coverage, paramedic coverage, would it be 4 mills or would it be 3 mills? Would it be 2 mills?
I think when we put the pro forma budget together, I think you're going to see that the board they will strongly encourage the public to go for the full 4 mills.
But that pro forma is going to inform that decision on the board.
Yeah, won't be our decision. It will be the new board's decision to do that.
And that won't surprise me in the least.
Yep. So just a little bit of math on the back of a napkin. I think a 4 mill at a valuation of $500,000 is about $200 a year.
So if your house was valued at $500,000, it would be about $200 per year for that.
For the
4 mills.
Yeah, for the 4. So that gives you a little context on that. And then what's some other figures that?
The 3 mills currently brings in something around $1.15 million.
Yeah. So the hospital. Oh, and by the way, this is just for North Lincoln County Hospital District. This is not for the county. We initially proposed the county, and South Lincoln County, they didn't want to participate from the get-go. And so this is just the valley, the towns, the 4 towns, and the county in a designated area. And then what was the point that you made?
The 3 mills currently brings it around.
For the hospital,
Yes.
That's $1.3 million. Okay, so of all the tax dollars that come to the hospital, it totals with the property tax the most recent property tax reduction. We receive $1.3 million to sustain any other services that we have to subsidize, and that is about 1% of our total net revenue. So everything else is being generated outside of that tax levy.
And so 4 mills would bring in something north of $1.5 million.
Yeah, it all depends on.
Right.
Yeah.
So that if you're looking at your North Lincoln County Hospital District, doesn't that also include Cokeville?
It does not.
Okay.
I think it's Smoot North.
Yeah.
You don't have Cokeville included because don't you have a branch office down there? Or?
So interestingly, Cokeville has its own hospital district. And so they use that hospital to contract with Star Valley Health to manage that clinic, and that's what we've been doing for over the last several years.
So,
Yep.
Any other questions, Jim?
well, I was just looking at it's about 1.42 million.
Okay.
If you look at just if it stays within the valley-wise, it's 1.42
Yeah.
million.
Well, I really appreciate you coming, and so let's really nail home the timeline for the next major thing. So March 17th
Yep.
is the opportunity for the county commissioners to receive public comment on this.
Correct.
And then they will make, there's a 60-day period,
Yep, for public comment,
public comment,
written,
written public comment at that point. So they'll accept 60 days of public comment, and then what is the date that they will make their determination?
May 19th?
I think it's May 19th in
Yeah,
that range.
May
And
19th.
then will they have, their next opportunity to make a decision is when?
That,
May 19th?
May
Okay.
19th, yep. And then what's, like the good mayor has already,
Good mayor.
the good mayor has already stated, I have respect for you guys serving, okay? I just really appreciate how people put themselves out there to serve the community. So I'm going to call you a good mayor, okay?
Thank you.
So at that time, what's on the table as far as proposal is a representative from Alpine, a representative from Star Valley Ranch, a representative from Thane, and a representative from Afton, and a representative from the county would serve that 5-member board.
So we would have to appoint someone from the community, whatever, not necessarily on this town council, but we would, depending on how the May 17th goes, we will essentially be putting it out to people in this area and say, is anyone willing to serve? This is what the qualifications you should have.
Yeah.
And then this town council will appoint someone to serve on that board, likely to be ratified by the county commissioners, but you never know.
Yep.
And then from there, it gets on the ballot for the general election if everything goes well. And then the board determines what level of, whether it's 1 mil or 4 mils.
Yep.
Before what period of time? Do you happen to know?
Well, then you have to be able to, I think it's July something, July 15th, that's the deadline for the ballot.
You have
And
to determine 1 mil
Yep,
or 4 mil?
yep, and what you're
And the
asking.
language and
Yep,
everything?
the language and everything, what you're asking the voters to vote.
Okay,
That's the timeline.
okay. We will, we have a resolution on the agenda tonight that hopefully, we have a nice discussion on that, and then hopefully you will see the support from the town of Alpine, and then we'll see how things go on the 17th, but
Okay.
I anticipate.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah,
Appreciate
thanks
it.
for coming.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Yep,
it.
you betcha.
Yeah. And reach out to Dan and Trevor if you have any questions, right, guys? Okay. All right, thanks for that. I think that was real important, just so they're going to all the other municipalities and trying to do the same thing and let people know. So appreciate you guys sitting and listening to that. I know we have a bunch of other things that we want to talk about. We're going to hit these other items just really quick. The discussion on the Town of Alpine Safety Manual. Craig, that's something that you've been working on for a while, right? So why don't you just give us the nuts and bolts of that?
Yeah, so this is just updating the original safety manual, which was extremely outdated, as well as implementing employee safety training programs, which we haven't had in the past. And by doing this, we get discounts through workman's comp, and it just makes this place safer. And we were taking names off the original one had names on who was responsible for, and that's never a good thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just a general responsibility for the safety officer.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you have a recommendation that we're going to go over, and then we need to adopt this, or what's the next step, Monica?
Yeah, it's brought to you guys so you have time to review it, and if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to Craig. The goal would be to bring this back as a resolution at the next town council meeting.
Okay. So we'll digest it, and then we'll come up with questions, and then we'll just be ready to answer all the hard
Perfect.
questions at the next meeting.
I am? Yep.
Anyone have any questions for Craig right now? Okay, thanks, Craig.
Thank you.
And then the last one was the, let's see, public notice ordinance. Madam Clerk, can you just give us the down and dirty on this?
Yeah, so Sarah and Gina have been working on this. As you're aware, that there a lot of the processes that staff encounter every day require public notice. Our recommendation is to town council is that we adopt an ordinance that makes that consistent across all of the processes that we do. So subdivisions, annexations. So essentially what staff did was find the most restrictive requirement and we did them across the board. So this way, no matter what process, we make sure it's always 500 feet. We always do it the same way.
The public being notified.
Yeah, because there is some processes that some people get notified by first class mail, some have to get notified by certified mail. We kind of just made everything the same to make it easier for us so that we don't end up making errors in the future.
Right. And same thing, we're looking to bring that to the agenda at the next meeting.
Yes, and so this would be brought at the next meeting and would be an ordinance, in ordinance format, yes.
Correct. Okay. Any questions about that? All right. Next, we have our tabled items, which the first one happens to be the liquor license applicants. Let's see if we can get someone to make a motion to remove it from the table, and then we'll take the next steps.
Make a motion to remove the establishment of top 3 liquor license applicants from items from the table.
Second.
We have a motion, it's been seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor of removing it from the table, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, it is now removed from the table, and we can discuss it now as an action item. Okay, so what I would like to do is, I think we've taken tons of public comment. At this point, we really don't need any more information from the applicants unless someone wants to ask you that. But what I would like to do is, now we need to get a motion to discuss it, really, right? We've removed it from the
discussing it.
table?
We've removed it from the table, so it's up for discussion if I'm.
Okay,
yeah.
so we can discuss. What I would like to do is have a straw poll, and I would, at this point, like to have each council member select their pick, okay? And then what we're going to do is, the worst thing would be if we had 5 different, but I'm hoping that we have like 3 and 2, or even if we had 2, 2 and 1, that what we would end up doing in that particular case is we would just pick the top 2, and then whoever made that the 5th vote would essentially be able to, select from the other 2. And this is what I kind of wanted to do at the last meeting, and we weren't able to get there. But if we do that now, a straw poll, hopefully there's a chance we get to, a majority of one selection. And if that happens, then I think it makes our motion pretty easy. So is everyone clear on what we're asking, what we're doing?
Yeah, are we gonna have any discussion or just,
Of course.
just go?
Yeah.
Discuss.
What I would like to do is just open it up to discussion right now, and then after our discussion, we will take the straw poll. Does that sound all right? Okay. I'll start on this side of the table again if you want, or I can start on the other side if that's too much pressure.
Oh, to give my.
To you, yeah.
To my decision?
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. Just your discussion right
Oh,
now.
well, I'm either way.
Okay.
I guess I've said it before here. After our last one, I reached out to Representative Byron. We had missed the window to sponsor a bill to see if we can be a gateway location that would take in population from Bananas all the way to Broken Wheel. And so he and I are going to get together, because that's Alpine. And so if we can, hopefully, whoever doesn't get a license this time, I would hope perhaps we might be able to gather 2 more licenses in a year. So that's kind of that. And then I spoke to Jason at the state. I think Jeremy did too. We got a lot of clarity on just what's available, what's possible. I still think it's an archaic process, but this is what it is.
We all agree on that.
I know,
Yep,
so. Okay,
thanks. Ms. Weirda?
Yeah,
and then I'm
I'm grateful for the delay of 2 weeks, although it put everybody on edge, because it just allowed time to gather more information. In my decision-making process, my first criteria is like, who can maximize the use of the license? It's written vaguely, or it's written to cover multiple purposes, so who can fulfill that requirement? Also looking at the public feedback, and including the public feedback received from the master plan, which project fits into the character of the town that people are asking for. And then the other criteria is just, my initial thought was, okay, who can put this to work immediately? And all these projects say they can be up and running by summer, so that's a wash in my mind. Some public feedback that redirected my thought process a little bit was to play the long game. Some of these projects, and while I appreciate everyone's attempt to give revenue numbers, they are estimated guesses. So look at these projects for, okay, what can they be as they evolve over the years? And then the one last point I wanted to make is just, I don't want to make this decision based on hypotheticals. We kicked around, okay, can we try to get some of these projects under other licenses, or what about this, what about that? Nobody's come forward and said, yes, this other avenue will work for me, and so I don't want to make a decision based on, again, what could be, but rather what's the information right in front of us.
Okay, thank you.
I want to thank all the applicants for putting something forward. I know every one of you has basically a big dream and something they want to bring to the community. And it's really hard that we can't give one to everybody. But we appreciate all the hard work that went into everyone's applications and the creativity. And I hope that anyone who doesn't get one awarded tonight still looks at what they can bring to the community, because as I said at the last meeting, we need everything. We're starving for services and opportunities. So just keep your thinking caps on and see what you can move forward with.
I'll let go. Andrea's, this was the good and the bad. The good was you all have a lot of support for your ideas, your business ventures. You have a lot of support from the community. I was talking with Amy earlier. It's like, wow, this is really cool that the community came out and said, these people are good, we like these people, which also made it really hard. Because everything is good. As I've said before, if I had it my way, I'd hand them all out and just let, the invisible hand decide of who wins and who loses. But unfortunately, we have an archaic system. I wanted to, this was hard. Go ahead.
Thank you. So what I took into this consideration was basically like everyone had as Ms. Weird has said, everyone has a plan to get up and going as soon as possible, and appreciate that. I personally looked at like the revenue amount that I think that it could bring in, or what you said it would bring in. And the thing that had the most weight in my decision was what would make the biggest impact to the town of Alpine, with basically the vision of the master plan that's in the process right now. So that kind of held the most weight. But I do appreciate what Ms. Scafidi said, that we are committed to, and I know everyone up here has mentioned this, that we're committed to working with the state legislature and helping change this, because it has to be better, easier for the municipalities, especially growing municipalities, because of course in small towns, they know this is what we've got, we're not growing, we're not ever going to be able to change this. But for us specifically, being the fastest growing town in Wyoming, it would be nice to be able to have a say in what this process is going to be like in the future. And I think the state legislature is open to that. Now, I can't make any guarantees, because that's I think most of you have probably heard, it's a pretty broken process that's happening down there right now. So we need to be active and vocal and say, this is what we could use. And I think there's communities in the surrounding area, especially in Jackson, that have been preaching this for a long time. So I think hopefully we can make some inroads on that. Yeah, the biggest impact to the town in my mind was what held the most weight. So anyways, any other comments after that? Okay, so what I'd like to do now is do the straw poll, and we'll do the reverse order. We'll start on this side and work our way this way.
Straw poll for me. So to make the biggest impact throughout the valley, going back to the RV resort to Bud, you do not qualify for a resort, a hotel resort license. However, you do qualify if you were to be given this license and then this board were to designate you as a guest ranch, that would qualify you kind of everything under the sun. I know you have a current malt beverage license. With that malt beverage license, you have 3 options. You can forget about it and it disappears. You can maintain it in case maybe you develop a different property and put it over that way, or you can transfer it for what the state considers blue sky value. One thing that we've all discussed, and I think we're all in agreement here, is we'll be passing ordinance.
Well, bringing forward.
Bringing forward an ordinance, excuse me, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Bringing forward an ordinance to essentially eliminate that blue sky value. So going forward, these applications won't be a golden ticket. They'll be transferred out, be used, and we'll figure out the language, but they will not have an aftermarket value. Anyway, back to your, if you having that and you're up to transferring that, my first choice would be to the RV park and then transferring that to the Chevron. My second choice on the straw poll would be to give it straight to Chevron.
So first would be RV.
First would be RV with the
Caveat to
caveat of transfer.
which I'm pretty sure is an option, and Bud has brought that forward in the email that he sent today. Okay, I've got your first vote here.
And second, in case
Yes, back up.
we're looking back up, yep.
Okay. Miss,
Very
Richard.
difficult decision. I think I'm gonna put my support with the Alpine Standard. They are a good model for the use of the permit or the license, and they're already an established business with a very robust offering. They've worked really hard to give the community many different things from their location, and they would be off the ground and running very quickly.
Okay, we have 2 options so far. I'll go to you.
Thank you. Yeah, going back to what I was saying, who can use the license, who's bringing a niche to the community. This project also just beautifies an ugly parcel in downtown. My first choice would be Dave and Becca Walters. Is it El Capitan, right? Second choice, for all the reasons that these 2 just said, would be the Chevron.
Okay. Ms. Cafidi?
I'm gonna match with Andrea on the Alpine Standard as far as what the license was made for, but I'm definitely with Bud as a second on that, if that comes to a town, the RV park as a second.
Okay, so you're Chevron.
Yeah, and then RV park.
Okay. So, we have RV, Chevron, and Dave Walters. Okay. So my selection goes along with what Amy Weird has said, that I think Dave and Becca's option brings the biggest impact and change to this downtown area that goes along really well with the Alpine Master Plan. So that's my selection. So if looks like it's 2 Chevron and 2 Dave and Becca El Capitan. And Mr. Larson, you were RV. So it sounds like it might be up to you.
Chevron second.
Chevron second. So it sounds like, to me, that would be Chevron is the selection. Is that right? Everyone agree with that? Madam Clerk, did you get that? So we've got Mr. Larson, you were RV first, then Chevron second. Burchard was Chevron. Amy Weirdo was Dave. Becca Shea was Chevron, and I was Dave and Becca. And then your second choice, Mr. Larson, was Chevron, so that means it's 3-2. Correct? Okay. Mr. Larson, would you mind updating the motion? And then,
Like to amend the proposed action to selecting one retail liquor license application to proceed with submission and processing of the retail liquor license application. And I'm going to throw in this caveat for our board here. After we've gone through the process of going through an ordinance to change the value of said liquor license through the state of Wyoming, subject to all required approvals, and to select Chevron as the town's chosen applicant.
we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Discussion. So I think the problem with that is the language about the ordinance,
Right.
if it doesn't pass.
I was going to ask Jim.
So can you run that language?
Yeah.
Again, I was trying to
So,
count up things, so.
right, so my thought being is essentially we need to start the ordinance process to create zero value to this license and get it come back before we technically award it to one of the participants.
Can I push back on that?
Sure.
I want to make this decision based on what we have tonight, not hinder it by a decision we may or may not make in the future.
I would agree
I
with
would,
that.
I would
And what-
amend, I would amend to strike the language of, I would need the language.
I think my recommendation would be just to leave that part out, and then we don't say the timing of when we would give them the license, knowing that, I mean, we can tell them that they're going to receive the license, but then we work internally on that possibility of
Does that
updating our
work?
language, and it might take us a little time to do that, but I don't want to nail down have a stipulation on this that we can't move forward, right?
Right.
Okay. So would you be willing to strike the whole part about the ordinance?
Sure, I just want to confirm with council, though, if we have this language, if we do this with this language in here, and then we later create an ordinance that gives it no value, we've got one before the other.
Yeah, you've got an issue there, so you either gotta just give it or
Gotcha.
come back and do your thing and do it over again. You just,
There's probably no precedent in the state.
there
what I
isn't
understand.
any precedent, but I can see it being sort of
Right,
an issue. If there is value, and all of a sudden now you're taking that value,
Right.
which kind of comes up with an ex post facto.
Yeah.
Can we pass an ordinance that would basically retroactively say that all license, okay,
Ex post facto.
all right. You and your fancy terms.
Sorry. I paid a lot of money to be able to.
Ex post facto.
with that in mind, and I apologize because I want it to get going, but for me, the priority is setting the precedent. So future councils future applicants, it goes, it has to come back to the town. It can't be treated as a commodity. So I'm going to withdraw my motion. If somebody else
Okay.
would like it, by all means.
Okay, so he's withdrawn his motion. Now we need to make a new motion if someone's willing to do that. And then it doesn't sound like we'll be able to put that time frame stipulation on there.
So we just need to make a basic motion to approve.
Now, are we required, as soon as we make this motion, like, there's still a process that has to go through the state, right?
Yeah.
So, and what's the time frame on that, Monica?
We have to hold a public hearing, so I think the thing that you need to be aware of, that just so you guys, we've already accepted their application. It would be similar to of historical events where we accepted a subdivision application, then changed the fees on subdivisions. You can't go backwards, so regardless of that, we're going to push this one forward and do the review process and do all that. I feel like we're already past the point of no return unless you throw out all applications at this point and start over, which that's up to you.
What's your thought on that, Jim?
I
Yeah,
agree
that's a
with
good
that.
point.
That's a good analysis of it, so.
Would you be willing to make another motion with, and strike that language?
Yeah, this reflects nothing on you or any of the applicants. This is the part that just irks me. Make a motion to amend the proposed action to selecting one retail liquor license applicant to proceed with submission and processing of the retail liquor license application through the state of Wyoming, subject to all required approvals, and to select Chevron as the town's, and what's the
Alpine
legal name?
Standard.
Alpine Standard, pardon me, to select Alpine Standard as the town's chosen applicant.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
A second.
From Ms. Scafidi. Any more discussion? I understand what you're saying. And is there a possibility that while that application goes in, like, we could have a special, we have to have a hearing, but could we have an emergency meeting and put something, an ordinance in place before that?
I think our clerk is correct, and the process has started.
Their application has been deemed complete.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you do a last right of refusal for the town? Stupid idea, put your hand back.
I don't know if we can't put that stipulation on it. Yeah.
We can. I'm looking
We
at-
definitely need to figure this out for the future, but this is,
And as we've said before, there's other licenses available, and in 5 years, as long as we're at a population of 1,500, so there's going to be another one. If we don't work together and get more available at next legislative session, so we also, need to get this.
dialed in before
Dialed in.
the end of the year, for sure.
I think the liquor division's probably gonna regret the can of worms they opened here.
Town of Alpine, which they never involved us.
Getting to know Jason really well.
Any other discussion on this motion? All right, all those in favor of said motion, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Thank you. We'll take a 5-minute break if anyone wants to stick around, but this is your chance to move on. I gotta use,
No, you're correct on that.
you guys can turn off.
No, you're correct.
Yeah, you got it. What's that?
Okay, we're back in session. The next thing that we need to remove from the table is resolution number 2026-010, which is the representative to Alpine Meadows.
Just a quick question. I
yes.
see it as item F on action items.
So we have two different things.
Oh.
And just, thank you for that question. So this is literally, the resolution 10 is to establish that the mayor has this appointment. And then the one as action item is to make the mayor's selection because there's a annual meeting coming up on Thursday. So two different resolutions. But thank you for that question. Do we have a motion to remove it from the table?
I'll make a motion to remove resolution number 2026-010, authorizing representation of the town of Alpine at meetings of the Alpine Meadows Property Owners Association from the table and approve as amended.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion. It's been seconded. Any discussion?
Looks like we'll be discussing more of it on F.
Yeah, so it's the, you may not have been listening because you were so busy, but so this one is, just to clarify, just to establish this, and then the other one is to make our selection.
Yep.
Is that what you understand?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Any other discussion on removing it from the table? All those in favor of removing resolution number 2026-010 from the table, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, it's back on the table. And so you made the comment about approve as amended, correct? Mm-hmm. Okay, because we did make a few minor adjustments to it. Madam Clerk, do you mind telling us what those were?
Yeah, the original resolution was drafted to appoint the mayor as the representative or his designee. This resolution has been amended that town council authorizes the designation of the authorized representative and that the mayor will make that appointment and it will be authorized by council. And so moving forward past the initial appointment of the representative, it will be done through the annual appointment resolution at the beginning of each year.
Right. Any questions, concerns, comments?
So I guess I'm missing is the amended motion, approve as amended. We're just taking off the table, but we'll still be voting on resolution 2026-014 of the appointee.
Correct.
Correct? Okay.
Yeah, this is just the framework for this representation. And obviously, this going forward in January, as the clerk said, is always going to be one of those appointments that's
Right.
made by the mayor. Any other questions, comments? All right, all those in favor of resolution number 2026-010, say aye.
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 Opposed? And I'm abstaining. So, I'm sorry.
I think you can even vote on tabled items coming out.
So, we voted,
Does the mayor vote on tabled items? No. Veto, that's what it is.
so we've already brought it off the table, right? We voted for that. Now
Yeah.
we have this motion, and so it was 4-0, right, in approval. Okay. Approved, passed resolution. Yay. Okay. Let's crank these other ones out. Action item, let's see, A is the Safe Streets for All Transportation Safety Action Plan. We are looking for a motion, seeking a motion to award the contract for the SS4A Transportation Safety Action Plan and Highway 89 Demonstration Project to be selected two selected consultant and authorize Mayor Green to execute the agreement. Someone could say so moved if they agree with
Yeah.
that.
So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion. It's been seconded. Discussion. Okay, just so everybody knows, Madam Clerk, can you just give a quick background on the process that we've gone through to get to this point tonight?
Yeah, so the federal transportation I'm tired, I'm sorry. Department, what they did is they required us to have a consultant selection process. About 3 months ago, you guys did adopt that process at a meeting. So.
We put out an RFP.
Correct.
We got 3 consultants to apply.
Correct. And then the committee, per your resolution for the process, interviewed all 3 consultants and ranked their proposals. And so based on that ranking, the committee has made a recommendation to town council, and it is attached.
Right. And this is a process that started like 2 years ago. We applied for this grant, and we received a $300,000 grant, of which there was a, whatever the percentage is, 75-25 match. They paid $240,000, and we were on the hook for $60,000. And then Sarah, thank goodness Sarah, asked for other grant funding, and we received grant funding for our match as well. So this is a zero cost to the town of Alpine, and what the goal is just what it says, to improve the transportation safety action plan for Highway 89 and do a demonstration project. And so we met with 3 consultants. They all came in person, and I will bring up the consultant evaluation form that was developed. So did everyone have a chance to read through this, or should I?
Well, I was gonna make a motion to table this. So I just honestly, with everything with the liquor and budgets, I just have not.
Okay, so make your motion. Motion to table?
I would like to make a
Okay,
motion.
is there a second?
I've read it through.
Yeah.
Okay.
No second. So that motion dies. So at this point, I think to maybe, hopefully I can answer some of your concerns that we have a lot going on. But this is a project that I think the town of Alpine has been hoping we would have something like this for quite a long time. Of course, speed through downtown Alpine is crazy, and we always complain about that. And so this is one way that we can make it safer through this demonstration project for citizens, for visitors and everything in the town of Alpine. Likely to have the demonstration project be something associated with the crosswalk in town, to make it more visible, to try to get people to slow down. So, and to get the federal funding, this is the process that you have to go through. There's what's called NEPA, which I can't remember what it stands for off the top of my head, but this is something that, of course, we'll have to work with the consultants. I think we're going to have bi-weekly meetings, but for the most part, they run with it. So there shouldn't be too much of a lift from the staff from here on out. So did everyone have a chance to read through this and understand what we did? Okay. So there was one that after we did everything, came to light. Kimley Horn was the highest scoring consultant, and each different consultant had their what they were strong at, and in this says kind of what everyone's strengths were. But Kimley Horn, with their very strong in dealing with Safe Streets for All grants, they've been very integral in a lot of the projects that happen in Teton County. Really, they kind of rose to the top after using the rating system that we did. So, any other questions or clarification on the suggested? Now, of course, this board does not have to select them, but this is the recommendation. So if anyone has any questions or would like to get more information on anyone, now's the time to do it.
I appreciate the rubric you guys used, and just looking over the qualifications of everybody, that was kind of the same conclusion I came up with.
Okay.
Like, okay,
Great.
then for the most part, yeah, just relying on staff to make the right choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I see that we had 4 people doing the interviewing, and so that makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Very thorough.
Any comments?
This seems different than normal, and maybe, I'm new to this, but normally they would come and present to us. So
So they
you
did-
guys created a committee versus the council hearing everything?
Yeah.
Okay, so
That's
who was
what-
on that committee?
So it was the clerk, the public works director, Sarah, who is the assistant clerk, and myself.
Okay.
And I've actually worked with 2 of the consultants on a plan that happened in Jackson and the one for Lincoln County. So I had worked with 2 of the 3. And yeah, and I think the rubric that we came up with, was this not part of the RFP that the rubric was part of the RFP that this council approved, so
Correct.
yes. So yeah, I think it was totally public, everyone knew how it was gonna work from the RFP, is my understanding. Any other questions or comments?
I'm just consulted out for a while.
I'm not, I'm all for it. Get as much free stuff as we can
I
from
know.
the state and from the federal government, especially in something that's so important.
Nothing's free.
Which part of this isn't free?
No, I know. Grant money.
Yep, we're gonna, it's,
I know it's moving forward.
yeah. Okay, so do we need to amend it and, add that selection? Would someone be willing to, suggest an amendment to the motion? Which would be, strike selected consultant to Kimley Horn, I believe, would be the
That's
motion.
what I was trying to get, was her full.
Yep. To select, I think it needs to say to select Kimley Horn as the consultant and authorize Mayor Green to execute.
Yep. I'd like to amend the motion to award the contract for the SS4A Transportation Safety Action Plan and Highway 89 Demonstration Project to select Kimberly Horn, consultant, and authorize Mayor Green to execute the agreement.
The selection is Kimley Horn.
Kimberly Horn.
Kimley,
Kimley.
you got it.
Kimley.
There you go.
Okay, we have a motion.
It's
Do we
already
have
a
a
long
second?
night.
Second.
Any discussion on the amendment? All those in favor of said amendment, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Hearing none? Abstain?
Abstain.
Okay.
Abstain as well.
Okay.
I didn't have a chance to review all of this.
Okay. So we're back to selecting Kimley Horn as the main motion. Any other discussion? All right, all those in favor of said motion, say aye.
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 Abstain.
Abstain.
Aye. Motion passes. Okay, now, second ordinance of, ordinance number 01, the town administrator, okay.
Make a motion to approve second reading of ordinance number 2026-001, creating the position of town administrator and amending duties within Title II.
Second.
We have a motion, it's been seconded. Discussion. Madam Clerk, what changes were made, if any, to the ordinance?
None.
Did we change like an education or a job background, or did we just?
So our feeling on that, the feedback that I got from people that gave me their feedback on the town council was that's something that they'd rather see in the job qualifications instead of putting it into the law. And I agree with that. I think, we just need to lay it out. This is to change the charter and then, throughout the, what we will do is we will write up the job description, which the employee committee will do, and then we'll bring it to town council, and then you can approve it at that point if that's what you'd like to do. Any questions, comments? Okay, all those in favor of passing ordinance number 2026-001 on second reading, say aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? Any abstains? Did you vote?
I said aye.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
That's-
You guys must have said it at the exact same time. So it passes 5-0 on second reading. Next is resolution number 2026-011.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 2026-011, authorization to submit grant applications to travel and tourism.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second?
We have a motion. It's been seconded. Discussion. Madam Clerk, is there any updates to the, this from when we discussed it last meeting? Was there any changes in
Yes.
the amounts? Okay.
It was edited. And actually, when it was sent over to you on Thursday, after doing so, publishing the packet, Sarah realized that, which item was it? Oh, she realized she missed the opportunity to get trash receptacles from travel and tourism. And so she added that, and that's why you have a printed copy.
Okay, and I'm probably gonna ask for 25,000 because we bumped back to 11 weeks,
You should
and so.
make a motion
I'm-
to amend.
Okay,
Yep. That'd be the perfect time to do it.
well, and do I amend that, or do I also make a motion of, I wanted to discuss this emergency management sign for 44,000 seems very
Yeah.
expensive.
How about you make your motion
motion,
for
okay.
for the
Yep.
25,000, and then we can discuss the other as well.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to amend the Town of Alpine Music in the Mountains from 20,000 to 25,000 submitted to the Alpine Travel and Tourism Board for tourism-related projects.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Discussion, I totally agree. I think that's good just to have a little, and these are reimbursed funds anyways, so if you don't end up using it,
I'd rather be safe.
yeah. Any other, go ahead.
Oh, this is just to,
Amend only,
I'm sorry, to submit applications to travel and tourism.
Correct.
There's no guarantee. They can say no to all of these if
Correct.
they so choose. Okay.
yep.
Yeah.
They'd be in trouble
Aim
if
high,
they did that.
aim
but-
high and see what you get.
So real quick, back to the Alpine Emergency Management sign. Is that
So
something?
let's
Oh.
do your motion real quick.
Oh.
And vote on that, and then we'll get back to that. Any discussion on that?
No.
Okay. All those in favor of approving the amendment of changing the Alpine Music in the Mountains to $25,000, say aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? Hearing none. Mr. Larson is, he's recusing himself from these.
Using from the whole.
Yeah, whole discussion and everything.
Yep.
Okay, so now let's talk about this sign. I agree, I don't understand what the goal is with this $45,000. Madam Clerk, do you have an update on that?
So there's a recommendation to move the sign to a more appropriate location, not so far off the roadway, so that it can actually be used by out-of-town travelers for the intended purpose, which is emergency notifications.
Here's my question. So we have someone's bid this
I don't know, I did not put the numbers together.
to
This,
move this?
do you know who did?
Sarah?
Yeah,
Mr.
Melody
Mayor?
was working
Yes.
on that.
I might be able to clarify
Please.
some of this.
Thank you.
There was a discussion with our secretary, where it was originally of replacing bulbs. The sign is so old that bulbs are no longer available. So it could be not only the moving, but it could be a whole new board, like a new LED style board
Would
to
it be the same size?
Same, I do not know that, but there was just discussion about getting an estimate to replace the whole board itself, replacing with like LED style boards. That's all.
More modern.
More modern, yeah, because there is no just swapping out new bulbs. That's gone.
So what would we be notifying people about?
I'm sorry?
Like, what would be our notifications? And I don't mean, I always say this, like, this is my notification. So like, if I wanted a weather. like,
I got
You
you.
know what I mean? I just think $45,000, like, that could go to a lot of,
So I can't speak to on the board here, but what discussions have been as far as notification is just having the advantage of something right there as you, more specifically as you turn to Grays River Road, that is going to tell you avalanche conditions, fire conditions, those two main important things, as opposed to like, okay, avalanche, oh, now I got to know where to go if I'm a visitor. Where's the avalanche center? I don't have that app on my phone. I guess I got to download that app. But this sign will tell me right there. Same with fire. Like, I don't know how to find what the fire conditions are without getting onto the Forest Service or driving past them. I personally don't know. That would be my thought. But again, it's up to your board to decide what goes forward.
I hear your concerns. I don't know what, this sign drives me nuts every time I drive by it because it serves like zero purpose to me. Only that it's got like lights that are out and you can't even read what it says.
Mr.
So,
Mayor?
Yes.
I apologize for interrupting. And my comments here are in no way to say I endorse any of these and all of these, just to
Yeah.
put that
Since you are
out
the
there.
chairman of the
I
Trump
just had some information that I was privy to.
We appreciate your information. Does
I
anyone?
guess I'd like to make a motion to remove that one, and I only say this, if you guys decide to second it, is I feel like we're on a voting year to see if we're gonna get more tourism and tax dollars, so I would rather put it towards actual events or dynamics that I feel like hit more of a general
So
public.
before you make that motion, can I
Yeah.
add something? That if we're just gonna remove that sign, that we're gonna have to pay something to do it. Is there any information on that, Mr. Larson? No? Monica, Sarah?
I mean, couldn't our guys just remove it?
I don't know, maybe. I don't
I
know
would
if
like
there's
to
any-
ask Craig.
Okay,
I
so that's fine.
Okay.
What I want to bring up, if you make that motion and we decide to remove it, then the town of Alpine is likely going to have to, pay something. Our guys can remove it, but, it's not going to be for free.
Okay.
Go ahead.
When it comes, Mr. Larson, informationally, could you tell me, when it comes to Alpine, the tourism grants, is it just, here's the request, yes or no, here's the request, yes or no? Or can we go through this and say, this management sign is like the last priority?
We could definitely take that under advisement when the town presents their application. So but no, it is not a yes or no on behalf of our board. We've definitely changed stipulation as far as anywhere from the amount given to a match to however it's going to make sense for our overall budget. Basically, however it's going to make sense to spread the general good. One theme that we will be having for this coming application period and for the fiscal year 26-27 are projects that have an extended timeline, meaning probably less preference on one-off events and more preference on events that say last a week, a month, several months. Other than that, I hope I answered your question.
Yeah.
Okay.
There can be horse trading, yes.
I'm just thinking, leave it on, but can it be designated as a, like, I'd hate to take money away from these other projects for something we're not as enthused about.
I think the chairman might take that to the committee when they are discussing these items And I think it's worth leaving it on there because in the time between now and when they have their first discussion, we might come up with more reasons to keep it or not keep it. And, like, for instance, our local snowmobile club might be interested in putting some kind of a notification at the trailhead indicating avalanche danger. So that could take that out of the equation, because that's a really good suggestion of the use.
I guess, those are all valid points, and I would say that we just need some more information. So is it possible for the town of Alpine to rescind our application for this in the future?
Sure.
Okay, so maybe what we do is we just move forward, get some more information, move forward like this. I think it should probably just be 45,000 or for a round number, but it really doesn't matter. It's so close. And then we can actually vote as a board through that process to remove our application if we choose to do so.
With, yeah, upon more research.
Yeah,
Because it might be cheaper just to buy a new LED sign. I mean, I think we're recreating the wheel
I
a little
totally
bit.
agree.
For 10 grand,
yeah.
I think you could find a killer one and just,
So let's,
there you go.
if you're open to that, let's just keep it on there and then we'll get some more information and we'll hopefully revisit this very soon once we get some more information. Any other comments on any of the other applications?
I don't have comments on the others, but there's one I'd like to add.
Okay.
We've gone back and forth a lot on the Jersey barriers over the bridge, and I know it's not our favorite thing to have them, but there's a lot of community concern not having them. This year, didn't really affect anything, but in a big snow year, I think it's a safety feature, and we could maybe apply for a grant with travel and tourism to provide something else other than those big cement ones that we've been using, so that we still have that safe travel route across the bridge for winter recreators, and just find a better way to do it.
Do you know what that would be?
I
Because,
don't know, but that could maybe be some research we could do.
so I've talked to YDOT at length about these things, and just so everyone recalls, we decided that with the number of accidents that happen, like literally people,
Right,
cars
running
hit,
into them.
cars hitting them and
Yeah.
snowmobilers hitting them, trying to get on and off, it was just more of a safety issue.
I think at one point we talked about something that you could use that fills with sand, so it's maybe not as detrimental as a cement wall.
Yeah, yeah.
But still gives you that pathway.
Maybe temporary bollards or something like that.
Yeah, just
Okay.
something to designate a path, you know, just for safety's sake.
Okay.
And I know we talked about the groomer, we would be able to groom it so it's a little better as well.
So some of the concerns I have about that is if we put even temporary bollards up,
Then
that
it
the
won't.
groomer may just want to have to take them off. I don't know if Mr. Larson, you have any ideas on this, but
No, I'd be, I reached out to Craig to contact Darren with YDOT of what they have. What I have seen other communities use is a mixture of the Jersey barrier and the big orange thing for visibility. As far as, you know, if the groomer is approved and we were to take the groomer there, one, it'd be better than years past, because years past, we set the Jersey barriers for the width of the box Y groomer, whereas we could bring it in a little more narrow if we were to approve the other groomer and going through there. I think what we learned from our Great One experiment down the Grays with the groomer that we leased this year is it does a heck of a good job getting rid of the whoops and then bringing everything in and kind of maintaining a nice smooth pathway. So I think it would be just fine creating that safe passage for snowmobilers. And I'll put on my my ATAP hat as a groomer. Definitely safe passage as I'm taking grooming equipment across back and forth, because last year was, I'll just say, not cool.
what would you recommend then?
Well, I'd recommend, like I said, I previously talked to Craig to talk to Darren.
A mix of.
A mix is what I've seen, because one, hey, we already have the jersey barriers. They're free, they're there, but we do need the big orange to more visibility. We tried the flashing lights. We saw that lasted all of one snowstorm, so that's not an option. But the big orange, and I've seen other places interchange them with the jersey barrier, so there's a visual cue there of what not to hit.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know how to,
Can we just add it later? Are we allowed to? I
No,
mean,
it
I was
needs
just
to-
gonna say, just,
so it would have to pass on this ordinance tonight.
Oh.
So, can we fund something like that through this?
Yes.
Okay, so, do you want to think about or are you ready to?
yeah,
Are you
I
prepared
can-
to do it?
I can do this.
Okay.
I can do it.
Go for it.
I propose, let's see, I'd like to make a motion to add to the travel and tourism grant submission from the town of Alpine, jersey barriers, to provide a safe travel route across the bridge for winter recreators in an amount of $10,000.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second, discussion. Where did you get your $10,000?
It's just I don't
You
have,
pulled it out of your
I
hat?
pulled it out of my hat.
Okay.
I may have had some,
I think that's ample. I don't think we would overshoot that with those big, whatever
yeah, I
those
think
things
that's
are.
plenty, and we probably wouldn't hit that mark, but that gives us enough to adequately come up with a new plan.
So here's a question. You know those jersey barrier that are filled with sand? It's different. Are you talking like the barrel type or the ones that look like jersey barrier, kind of shaped like that, but they're filled with sand?
Barrel type is
Okay,
what I've seen from other communities.
Okay. Okay, I totally agree with this, and I just don't want to aim too low until we figure out exactly what it needs to be and work with Craig. So I don't think we would go to, say, 25,000 or whatever. I think 10 sounds like a lot, but should we consider making it more than 10 just to cover ourselves for this?
What, maybe Kevin has some advice.
I know, I'm like,
As a
hey, let's make a
snowmobiler and
decision.
an
$700 online each.
How much?
For a
700
barrel?
for a 6-foot-long jersey barrier.
For a jersey style
Jersey
barrel.
okay.
style. So that at least it's a number.
Yep.
750?
$700 each. Then you have shipping. So it's $470 for that one. There's another one that's $700.
Those are the
So-
ones you do the sand with.
Yeah.
And the advantage of those is,
That's it.
okay. I guess what my recommendation would be is maybe we try that. Maybe we do a test this year with a couple of those and a couple of the barrels and see if there's, but the worst part about the concrete jersey barrier is that they don't give, and so a snowmobile hits them, and Craig even saw, he went to plow in the morning and there was a vehicle upside down on the snowmobile trail because they hit it and it flipped him up on top of it. So that's why we just said get rid of the jersey barrier, but I'm willing to try other things. And so I think we're now to the amendment, and are you guys ready? Okay. All those in favor of said amendment, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None. Okay, so now we're back to the original. Any other comments, questions on this? Okay, I think we're good. If there's no more discussion, all those in favor of resolution number 2026-011, authorizing to submit grant applications to travel and tourism with said amendments, say aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, resolution passes. Thank you. All right. Next is 2026-12. Do we have a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to approve resolution number 2026-012, A resolution amending a provision of the Town of Alpine Employee Policy and Procedure Manual.
Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion, it's been seconded, discussion. Madam Clerk, can you just give us a idea of background on this one?
Yeah, it was noted that when the employee manual was updated last by town council, that I had inadvertently left under retirement the old language of being able to cash out 160 hours when the policy was changed in the new version to 80.
Right.
And so that was caught, and so this resolution will correct that.
This is the only change to the policy. Any questions on that? Okay. All those in favor of resolution number 2026-012, a resolution amending a provision of the Town of Alpine Employee Policy and Procedure Manual, say aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, resolution passes. Okay. Now we're on to 13. Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve resolution number 2026-013, supporting the creation of a Lincoln County Special Service District for Emergency Medical Services, known as EMS, in North Lincoln County.
Second.
We have a motion, it's been seconded, discussion. So hopefully everyone had a chance to read this, but essentially it's just, we got this from the town of Afton because they did very similar resolution. And basically for all the whereases up there, it says, now therefore be it resolved by the governing body of the town of Alpine, Wyoming, that the town of Alpine's governing body formally supports the Lincoln County Board of Commissioners in the creation of a special service district for the provision of emergency medical services in North Lincoln County. Number two, the town of Alpine encourages the Lincoln County Board of County Commissioners to continue engaging with municipalities, service providers, and the public to ensure transparency and collaboration throughout the formation process. Number three, the town of Alpine expresses its commitment to working cooperatively with Lincoln County and other regional partners to ensure the continued delivery of high-quality, efficient, cost-effective, and sustainable emergency medical services. So that's the purpose of this resolution. Any comments, questions?
So I had asked for a budget and I never received it. So I think if I vote nay, it's just because I wanted to have more data. And I didn't realize as a town, I haven't heard of these meetings. So I feel like I'm kind of out of the loop of like what was discussed at these meetings, if we could maybe get updates or.
Well, if I would have known you were interested, I would have invited
No,
you
that's
to
okay.
them. They were, we met like pretty much once a month, and they were very, it was Star Valley Health was nice enough to lay this out and bring this forward. I will say that they own the fact that they took it in and weren't able to make it successful. And so I appreciate them doing that. I do think after all the suggestions that were brought forward, this to me is the only solution for exactly what this says, to ensure continued delivery of high quality, efficient, cost effective, and sustainable emergency medical services. I don't think if we don't do this, I have no idea how EMS is going to be put together in the future in this part. And it wasn't brought up, but I think this would be the first EMS special district in the state. So I think we could be trailblazers in that front. But besides budget, are there other concerns that you
I just
have?
have concerns with Star Valley Health, and I know we're two separate entities.
Yeah.
But I think just budgetarily, there's just been a lot of cloud around that dynamic.
Trust me, we
I mean,
know, yeah.
We've all read about it, heard about it. I think to start off at 4 mills is super aggressive. And I guess that's kind of why I wanted to see what the budget looked like.
Yeah, so I don't think we'll have a chance to see the budget. We should have it before the March 17th meeting, so I'd encourage you to go to Afton to participate in that discussion. We should have it by then. But yeah, I think this is only support of the EMS Special Service District, and if it does pass, then we will be responsible for bringing forward a candidate that will sit on the board. So then the board obviously is going to have public meetings, and anyone will have opportunity to speak their mind and say, I think it should be run like this, or I think you should ask for 2 mills or 4 mills or whatever it is. So, but yes, this board or the committee that we've been gathered, it's been difficult to get exact figures because it's so intermingled, like their billing and all that stuff is intermingled into everything else they're doing. So they can't like pull out the billing portion for EMS. So it's really difficult to just do that one
Well,
thing.
they should be able
Well,
to.
because
You're billing for an ambulance, you're billing for a paramedic, you're billing, and so that's, I mean, Hunsaker said he would get me a budget. So I'm just saying this is kind of early for me, because one, I kind of would like to hear from the public. It's not that we have a huge
Well, they're going to do public comments.
Yeah, I know they'll do both. I mean, as a town, for us giving a resolution, that's kind of where I just wish we had public input for Alpine people, how they feel, is I would like to hear that.
I will tell you, the public feedback that I've received.
I know you're the public. We're public. Well, then please share.
The public, if you want to say something, you can, but the public feedback that I've heard is that something has to change, and and of course, we want to have EMS available in Alpine, and this board, this committee has come together and brought forward, this is the only thing. So I'm confident that our support of this should help the commissioners on their discussion. We don't have to pass this, but I'm in support of this for sure. So, any other questions, comments?
I just say, as I said before, folks here, folks at home, I ran EMS for several years. I'm happy to go into the challenges, the nitty-gritty, why volunteerism on an EMS service didn't work, more than likely won't work in the future, and let you make your own decision. As far as, public comment goes, I think by passing this, taking it to the county commissioners, creating the committee, and then finally going to the voters, that's the ultimate public. The voters can decide, and in my opinion, finally, we can give something to the voters like, if you don't want to pay for EMS, that's fine. Just don't expect
Someone to show up.
them to show up when you call 911.
Yep.
I mean, when I was running, we had a very real, where I went to the commissioners. Okay, you want to give me $11,000 for the amount of time that we've ran in the county, that's going to get you roughly around 23 calls. What would you like to do beyond those 23 calls? We can stop, we can, and they looked at me in disgust, like, you would stop? I'm like, again, if you're not going to pay for it, we're already, at that time, we had free housing, free labor, and grants up the wazoo to pay for all the equipment. It's not a sustainable, so if the public wants it, now's their chance to vote it in. And if they don't expect the people to come.
Agreed. Any other comments? All right, all those in favor of resolution number 2026-013, supporting the creation of a Lincoln County Special Service District for Emergency Medical Services, EMS in the North Lincoln County, say aye.
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 Aye. Opposed?
Abstain.
Resolution carries. So we're on to F. And I'm sorry if anyone had a public comment that they wanted to bring forward.
Because you are the public.
We'll do it later.
Okay, thanks.
Well, that doesn't help my vote. That didn't, oh, damn.
Okay, next is resolution number 2026-014. Do we have a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to approve resolution number 2026-014, appointing the mayor or the mayor's designee as the authorized representative to attend meetings of the Alpine Meadows Property Owners Association on behalf of the town of Alpine for calendar year 2026.
Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion, it's been seconded. Any discussion?
Looking this over, I kind of come to the thought of I'd highly like an employee as the designee.
To represent the
To
town
represent
of Alpine's
the town.
interest in.
Because if, it's not a, as I said, it's not a voting position.
It is. You have a vote, we have 2 votes on the board.
Oh, but I thought that's what Rachel was saying, is there's no voting.
Not at this meeting, and it's very interesting that there's no voting in this annual meeting. But all meetings going forward, I will literally, as soon as, if this passes, I will vote for the elections that are happening
Gotcha.
on Thursday.
So with that, so Thursday,
It's this Thursday. The meeting is on the 5th of March. From, well, and I should, hey, Pat,
About votes, they don't vote at monthly meetings. The property owners vote once a year at the annual meeting.
yeah, which is super concerning to me. How does someone bring forward a motion and anyone have their voice heard?
but, okay, so with that, if there's a vote to be had, to me, I'd like it to come before this body to, for us to vote on, okay, how would you like your vote to go?
Yeah.
And this body be able to say, okay,
That's
here's our elections.
That's fine.
That's what I'd like, and I just think it'd be more,
Yeah,
with, like I say, I see it more as an employee reporting back and then keeping on top of it and keeping this body on top of it as opposed to somebody actively taking.
I hear what you're saying. My only thing is having an employee, paying an employee to attend these meetings,
Yeah.
Seems a little ridiculous. But I'm willing to attend this annual meeting on Thursday. And by the way, I should clarify. I think we've received an email saying when the annual meeting is. We have not received an invitation like is laid out in the bylaws, so I don't know exactly when the meeting is, so I may be wrong. Maybe you guys could look it up and tell us. Absolutely, thanks. Monica has the emails as well.
I like Jeremy's idea, though. If there's something to vote on, I would like us to.
Okay,
agree
that's
on the direction.
that's fine with me, and if someone wants to attend the meetings, you guys are more than welcome to attend the meetings, but, if you want to do that and talk about how the vote happens, then that brings up a whole nother can of worms that we need to have a motion tonight on, we need to look at the candidates, because I think the only thing is the candidates, if I'm not mistaken, Pat, for the vote coming up.
Candidates and then something about working on the pavilion.
Okay,
So the votes have to be in by the 4th. That's tomorrow.
right. And then the meeting is on which day?
And you had to present that. You had to email your votes in. There's no voting. There's no raising of hands. There's no.
Sorry, Mr. Mayor. Dan, you have a lot of information. Can you, for our folks at home?
For our tens of people at home.
We're muddling two things, though.
Thank you, Dan.
Dan Scow, Alpine Meadows member. So the vote is on the 4th. Usually we are notified a month before. So we all got notified in February what the vote pieces were. A couple of, they're just ancillary stuff, but everybody has to send those in, then they count them. It's all
those votes have to be in by tomorrow.
They have to be in by tomorrow. So if you did it now, and you emailed it now, your vote is in.
Right.
It has to be in by 3 o'clock,
5 o'clock tomorrow. 5 o'clock tomorrow.
whatever.
Something.
Yes.
But if it was in tonight, I know
Say
you're.
March 4th.
Okay.
That
So back to the motion at hand. Thank you, Dan, for that.
Yeah, thank you, Dan.
I think in my opinion, the resolution is exactly how it should be, because it says the mayor may designate another town official. It could be, I'd like to hear from everyone else, if there's, the designee authority needs to be, and again, we're talking about in the future, the mayor will designate
The
this.
first.
So, I don't know if it matters if it's me or somebody else for this next meeting. I don't anticipate going to any more meetings, but you never know.
So that's saying you are going to go to the meetings? Oh, you may designate another.
Just so everybody knows, we do that by Zoom. So everybody can get on.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not like we go somewhere. We do it all by Zoom, so you can sit right there, you can do anything.
Right. But your bylaws say they need to be in person in a
It's-
location.
It's kind of like that, but we use that.
Kind of like that, right?
Just so you know.
Thank you.
Dan.
I'm sure the Zoom came out of COVID and,
Well, prior to COVID, they did it over phone. They haven't met in person since, probably 2010,
right,
when it was a handful of people up in Jackson who owned property.
you're right.
Because I'm sure you guys have lots of property owners that don't live here, so.
We have, we have 100.
80, or, 160, yeah. And it's,
But they're not all intense. There might be 40 people
they're 10, right.
on the call.
Okay, so where do we stand? Are you guys ready to make this decision? Okay. All those in favor of resolution number 2026-014, say aye.
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 Aye. Okay, and I will abstain. So it was 4-0, okay. So that passes. Now, in light of that, Monica has given us this Alpine Meadows Property Owners Association member ballot. Everyone here has given kind of like a why you should vote for me sort of thing. We could choose not to vote for anybody. We could choose one. We could, let's see, place a check mark next to candidate. No more than 3 people.
So one person doesn't get it.
How many people are on the board total? 5 or 7? Okay. Okay. Does anyone know any of these people, or are they,
I know Doug,
okay.
but I mean, this seems very odd to do.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Yeah,
I was willing just to, I was gonna read up on everybody and make my selection, but if you guys wanna,
Let's say we can submit it to you, and then you go through it, and you're the designee, so.
I would say this, if anyone is super passionate about this process or have read these, you can do exactly what you just did, Shay, and email it to me or something, and then I will, how about that? I'll figure out all the votes,
Sure.
and then I'll just,
Don't vote outside of the meeting, please.
Oh, yeah, no. We're just submitting the,
it's a straw poll.
Well, can I just
Pass it down now.
pass it down? I'm done. Vote for 3? Yes. Okay. Don't feel like you have to. I just know.
What about that?
Oh, do I have to?
Did you do this?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna pass. I don't know
Okay,
anything about any of these
perfect.
people.
You get to pass it if you do it, or if you want to.
You don't have to do it.
She's
not-
like, I'm not doing it.
Okay. So it looks like, oh my gosh. So Adrian got 3 votes, Rachel Rabbits got 1 vote, Joe got 2 votes, Doug Simmons got 3 votes. So our vote would be Adrian, Joe, and Doug Simmons. And the proposed improvements would be the picnic pavilion.
There you go.
Yes.
So moved.
Okay, make your motion.
I don't have the names in front of me.
Yeah, you do. Sorry, here's your vote back.
I'd like to make a motion for the Alpine Meadows Property Owners Association member election ballot to vote for Adrian Breenza, Joe Schott, and Doug Simmons, and yes, proposal for improvement to picnic pavilion.
Second.
We have a motion, it's been seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor of said motion, say aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? Abstain?
Yeah, I don't know anything about this. so-
Abstain.
Abstain, so you got 3 for it. Done. Anything else? Last item of business is public comment. Did anyone stay for public comment? Dan Scow did.
I always got something to say. Dan Scow, Planning and Zoning. On the EMS thing, I just was curious, is it from the Narrows? Where do they count the North Lincoln County from?
So we need to verify where that line of demarcation is, but they basically say it's,
Basically,
The-
what we call the south end, us old people.
Oh, okay.
Salt River Pass.
Salt River Pass is the
From
line.
Grover and,
It's the valley.
So it's all smooth everywhere.
correct, okay.
Like when you come down off of Salt River Pass,
Okay.
you're in it.
Has anybody talked about linking this up with search and rescue? I mean, they're funded kind of the same way that you would need to be funded, aren't they?
They're funded completely by donations and fundraising.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a budget, is part of the budget for the
They
sheriff.
do get an X amount of dollars from the county
You,
commissioners.
you can't connect EMS to search and rescue, because search and rescue is with sheriffs, just like you can't connect EMS with sheriffs, just like you can't connect EMS with fire.
All right, I was just curious.
Yep.
Good question.
No,
It's a challenge.
yeah.
I mean, I get it. I
Like
think
I
it's
say,
probably
Dan,
one of your biggest.
I've gone down
This is
this.
a huge piece. I mean, the math makes sense.
Well-
Even if you did 4 mil levy for $200, not to have some ambulance come to your house,
It's like an insurance
it's
policy.
like,
Oh, I know.
it's foolish.
Yeah.
Foolish not to.
Yeah,
That's, I mean, you just start doing the math going, well, I could die, or I could pay
spend
$200.
$200 a year.
Well,
So-
but I will tell you, some of the town council people in these towns have also thought, do you just have your own rapid response in your town? Rather than a full mothership? And please, I
What's a
haven't been
rapid
part,
response?
like that you would just have
One ambulance and a
in your
volunteer?
town. Well,
We
probably
did-
not a
we did that.
volunteer.
Well, yeah, but
No, a paid. I'm not saying, I don't have the.
I think that.
One way or another, you gotta
I think
pay for
that
it.
The larger distance with the larger supply of people are gonna be able to pay for that system.
Yeah.
Rather than having somebody like Aetna, well, they gotta pay.
Well, they're not a town.
Yeah,
But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're gonna exclude them, I'm sorry, you're Aetna, you don't get any.
yeah,
No.
yeah, and so
No.
I think this is it.
This is the first I have dug into this, to be honest. Didn't know there were meetings. I will now pay attention and be educated on all of it.
Yeah,
It's just history of just being good stewards of this dynamic, and it has just been always a dynamic of ebbs and flows.
No, but I mean, Jackson went through the same thing. I mean, it was all volunteer there for a while. And then they had.
You lived through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think in my experience being on the fire board for years before I was mayor, opened my eyes to what EMS goes through. And I was there when this whole contract of Star Valley Health buying it out or taking it over and everything. And it is so complicated, and there's improvements. Like I said before, Star Valley Health has said that we can improve the whole thing. And so I think this board, whoever this board is, will be given the power to set it up for success. So, but we have to have the funding. So I'm glad we took that. Miss Patricia McQuaid.
Yes, Patricia McQuaid, resident of Alpine. I just have some comments about the town administrator. You're obviously going to do that. What I've read is that you're just making this a possible position. I find it hard to believe that you're going through this and then not going to hire a town administrator. And I think a town administrator sounds like that's going to be the highest position in the office. So, you're leaving all of this, experience, education, salary, just up till once you pick somebody or once you decide to actually do it. And that just sounds like what happened the last few meetings with not having criteria for a liquor license. It was painful sitting and watching the whole procedures for the 3 meetings and trying to figure out who we're going to pick, what criteria we're using. So, I think it's really important to have criteria very specifically before you start kind of floundering around. Like I said, I would like to know salary range, qualifications, education. I'd also like to know how that's going to change things. Who's losing a job if you're going to hire a town administrator? I would think that something has to change. So it would be nice to know, how things are going to switch up. But
I could respond to maybe some of your questions. I think it's limiting to write it into law what the qualifications are. Because then, we can disagree, right? Okay, so I think what we're going to do is we're going to write the job qualifications, and they will be extensive because this person needs to bring experience, they need to have background, they, maybe even a degree, I don't know. But yeah, I was being facetious, but yes, of course, they'd have a degree in my mind. But the committee will come up with that. As far as salary and all that stuff, that'll be handled through the budget process. So, we've got to bring forward a budget that says this is what we're paying our annual salaries in each one of those different buckets, whether it's outside or people in here. So the opportunity to understand that part of it will come through the budget process.
So what about what job is being eliminated when you have this job?
Okay, just to clarify, this person is being hired to come in and look at the overall town and figure out where we need to improve, where we could save some money or whatever. So I would not say definitively that anyone's losing their job. This is a new position, and the main purpose in my mind as the mayor is to find someone that can take a lot of the extra work that I do that off my plate and put this onto the administrator. Attending these meetings, giving feedback during, let me clarify, attending the meetings for this EMS district and coming back and reporting on it. I attend it, all I can do is I can't type up a report. I should have done that. This is something that person would do.
Okay.
So,
but this person is going to be the highest paid person in the office. So you're talking like you're going to add the highest position in the office right off the bat, and everybody gets to keep their job?
I don't know. It's up in the air. What's your concern?
Oh, my concern is that it just seems like it's not specific enough. It's not, like I said, the same thing with the liquor license. It's like, okay, we're going to have an administrator, and, well, it's not specific enough.
Okay.
I don't think.
I
And
understand.
like I said, it was painful watching this, painful
There's
watching
people on
this.
our side too.
And I have a rubric for the liquor license that I'm going to present, along with an ordinance that Jeremy hopefully gets to.
Yeah,
that- yeah.
I'm just saying, putting those people through
I
that
know.
for 3
That's what I-
meetings.
You know who would
if-
be able to drive all that stuff? A town administrator.
Oh, great, But like I said, I'd like to know all the things that go into the town administrator and the whole thing.
You will have an opportunity to see the job qualifications that we put out there if it passes. It's still only on third reading, but if it passes.
If
then-
it passes,
Yeah.
right.
Thank you. Any other public comment?
Mayor, if I
Yes.
may say on this
Yes.
idea of putting the qualifications, the ordinances that I've seen around the state do not. They just say that selected on the basis of administrative training, experience, and education, and such other qualifications as may be specified by the governing body from time to time. So they don't put in minimum.
Don't write it into
Yeah,
law.
exactly.
Okay, thanks.
Mayor and Council, Riley Havorka. I am your representative on the Alpine Education Foundation. I did submit my report tonight in writing, but I also wanted to come and show my face. For those of you who haven't met me before, I want you to know I'm a real person. Call me, email me if you have questions, comments, concerns. If you just want to share your perspective so that I'm adequately representing you, please do so. I'm available. If you have questions about our landscaping plans or the gala we recently had, which was a lot of fun, and I think people really enjoyed it, direct those questions at me. I serve at your pleasure.
Thank you for everything you're doing.
You're
Yeah.
welcome.
Okay. Did you guys come to make a comment? You just wanted to come, you just wanted to
See how the
take it all
sausage
in?
is made.
Wow. Well, appreciate you coming. Do you live in the town of Alpine? Not that it's required, but,
Yeah, I can drive out in town and we're in Calgary.
okay. Great. Well, thanks for coming. Thanks for staying till the end.
Nothing good on TV, huh?
Yeah,
You don't know until you go.
thanks. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor of adjourning, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. 9:19. Thanks.
We got there.
It's gonna be a 9 o'clock night.
I thought we were lucky to get out here before.